It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and my goal in this channel is to teach you more about the medical side of the sports world. Now, yes, I watched the fight. Turned out exactly like you'd expect a 58-year-old to look when they're out there boxing. I don't think anybody was really surprised after the fact. I think a lot of people hoped that we'd see this new, rejuvenated, energized version of Tyson, and he came out and a couple of rounds looked pretty good, and then by the end of the fight it was clear this was a 58-year-old man, and he looked like a 58-year-old man. And I have a lot of issues with this. I don't think this fight should have ever happened. I think it says a lot of bad things about the combat sports world and sets a really dangerous precedent going forward.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
All right, that was a pundit talking about how Tyson never should have fought Jake Paul. I watched the fight. You watched the fight. It was boring. It was uninspired. It was not what people paid for, right? And I know it wasn't pay-per-view. It was just Netflix. And then I see the Daily Mail with a headline, Mike Tyson is embarrassed and in rough shape after loss to Jake Paul. He's grateful he didn't kill him. I saw a video of Tyson after the fight. He looked like he just got out of a sauna. He was walking fine. He wasn't all beat up. I thought the worst part about the fight was the last 20 seconds in the final round where Jake Paul, instead of duking it out to the bell, did that crass, cringe little bow to Tyson. I felt like the whole thing was a slap in the face of the fight game. I think that the Taylor-Serrano fight, clearly Serrano got robbed. I think that was one of the best boxing matches I've ever seen, most certainly the best female boxing match of all time. It was incredible. But really, Quanell, I think if we're going to be talking about anything, it shouldn't be Jake Paul the goober and Mike Tyson who just did a money grab and didn't even try to win, or the Taylor-Serrano fight. I think we should talk about what everybody in America is talking about, the ring girl. Can we see that video, Matt?
Poker face, poker face.
Now that is getting the most attention, I think. I personally thought like her boobs looked like they hurt. Did you have thoughts on those breasts there, or any of this?
Let me talk about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, watching that fight, it looked sad to me. It was very sad, and it was truly a displeasure for me to watch such a great historic figure in the fight game go out in that manner. It looked like he was only doing this for a payday. His reflexes at some point in that fight, around the fourth round, fifth round, it's like he didn't even know how to defend himself. He didn't have the ability to match him punch for punch. So what I walked away from it was this, Charles. I believe the entire thing was staged. I don't believe it was ever truly meant to be a fight.
Right.
And I would truly like to see the contractual agreements be made public between both men about that fight. Because if we really got a chance to see the real contractual agreement, I think everybody wouldn't be so disappointed with the fact that they would realize the fight was staged. Jake Paul won, but he was supposed to win. In fact, I believe it was in the contract that he
felt like
win.
a wrestling match, right?
Exactly.
Felt like professional
exactly.
wrestling.
But to watch Mike Tyson, who I believed was in fantastic shape, but to watch his reflexes and to watch his energy level toward the fourth, fifth, and sixth round, and the seventh, eighth round was really shameful to watch. So I really wish Mike the best, but I don't think he ever should have fought that fight. I don't think it should have been sanctioned. But I believe that we all deserve the right, who all sat down and watched that fight and paid to see it. We should have the right to see the contractual agreements.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we have a legal right, but I do think, especially like the Vegas betting odds and stuff, apparently Jake Paul has come out and claimed that he put all of his purse on the fight and bet on himself. You know, if I was running a book and I saw that fight, I would feel like I had people betting on professional wrestling, right?
Exactly.
It felt scripted. Tyson did not look hurt, despite the Daily Mail and other news sources saying he was beat up. Honestly, it looked like in the second and fourth round, he had a couple of opportunities to be the old Tyson and go at Paul with some real violence.
I would like to know, and I would be interested in finding out how much was the ring girl paid, because that ring girl we just watched right there, I guarantee you, she walked into that venue with debt, but she walked out of that venue Saturday night having no more debts. I believe her college loans were paid, her student loans were paid. I believe any credit card bills she had.
You
I mean, her rent, her mortgage, her car insurance. See what again?
Do you want to see the ring girl? Because Matt thought he was going to ambush you with it, and you were going to fall out your chair.
No,
because we know you like the white girls.
No, see, that's the
lie.
lie.
We know you like
that's
the white
the
girls.
Lie. That's the
lie. I know you pretend on TV.
But see, that's the
white
lie.
people bad.
But see, that's the lie that every white man want to play on a black man.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about you.
Looking at that ring girl, I'm going to be honest. I'm sure she walked out of that venue at AT&T Stadium debt-free. I'm quite confident she did.
You think men were just lining up to throw money at her?
I think she made sure she get her bills paid.
Okay, but what about if she just got herself some jobs?
In fact, she probably met up with Jerry Jones. Have you seen some of those videos of Jerry Jones and young women at those parties? I'm quite sure she probably hooked up with Jerry.
I mean, I'm not a Cowboys fan. You are. We can
Have you saw some of them videos where he got the girl's head in his crotch? Jerry Jones, a young girl could be his granddaughter. Yeah, she probably hooked up with Jerry and got all the bills paid.
Okay, first of all, you don't know this young lady.
Excuse me?
You don't know her? Why are you
excuse me,
making such
that's
a
where you're
horrible,
wrong. You can
comment.
define what you cannot see by the things which you can. And what we just saw in that video, she debt-free this morning.
Okay, this
she debt-free.
I honestly, I thought that there was a lot of maybe it was that Diddy oil. There was a lot of baby oil on the guns during the fight, but I thought they looked uncomfortable. Right?
Uncomfortable.
Right? Maybe they were man-made. I don't know if they're natural.
Uncomfortable.
But clearly, this is a woman that is.
Your old behind gonna sit there and just lie with a straight face. I thought she looked uncomfortable.
No, they looked like hard. They looked
like what?
They looked uncomfortable. But here's the thing, right? Clearly this is a young lady.
And you sitting there watching the video, your eyes bucked out so wide, you about to looking for a bubble to bust. Okay. But okay.
You were the one that was.
Yeah, I know you're a happily married man. I understand that. And you wouldn't dare look at nothing like that. You would see that and you say, thank God I got a beautiful wife at home. That's what you would say.
Okay, what I'm saying
your nose is growing right now, brother.
This woman.
Push the nose back in, Pinocchio. But anyway.
This woman obviously put a lot of effort into herself, right? She didn't just wake up like that, right? She has worked hard to have the body necessary to be the ring girl at fights of that level. If this leads her to other opportunities, why do we have to suggest that somehow she's selling herself for this aged old man that owns the Cowboys? She could be. I'm sure she has a laundry list.
And after that video that we just watched, you think that woman is selling her brain power?
No, I think she's.
When you watch that video, you think she's selling her academic accomplishments?
I didn't say that. I think she's.
You looked at them breasts that you know are some implants. You see them implants? Look like watermelons on display. And you gonna tell me that she's using not her physical exploits?
I didn't say that. I said she clearly put a lot of effort into making herself beautiful, and she's probably getting a lot of deals. It doesn't equal prostitution, right? You like
Would
looking
you pay
at
the
it.
rent?
What?
Would you pay the rent?
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know you would. I know it. Go on, tell the truth.
You said that last play when he took the shot? Yeah, we loaded up. That's what we wanted. Put the hand up.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, we just watched a video clip of Mr. LaMelo Ball giving an interview after just winning a game. He's excited about the win, and he makes a statement that says, "No homo." In the reference and the context in which he was using, it meant that we were not weak, we were not afraid, we were strong at the end of the moment, and we stood up like men. That's pretty much what he was saying. He was not saying no homo as being bigoted toward the gay community. He was not saying no homo in a way to target or to mean some disrespect to the gay community. But now the NBA has fined him $100,000. Let me tell you what's wrong with that for me. You have players on the court who use the N-word toward each other all day, every day in the NBA doing games, and they have never fined one of those players $100,000.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the N-word in your spirited defense. So your argument is that LaMelo didn't mean the pejorative for gay people as a pejorative for gay people. He meant it as in they were instead masculine women. He followed and loaded up. I didn't even get how loaded up could be homosexual inference. I don't understand. But he did use a pejorative, right? But let's say a white dude, right? Let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a white dude in the NBA, and I can't really think of one.
Take the biggest star right now from Dallas. Let's just say him.
Oh, I was going to say Jokic, who I was going to say, but he's Serbian. But I'm trying to think of an American Caucasian, right? I mean, yeah, you have a couple of great ones, but I can't. No American. There's plenty of European, but let's shift to.
So if a white player in the NBA said
TJ Watt. Right, but he said, no, not A.
That would not be the same thing as saying Niger.
Okay.
That wouldn't be the same thing.
That's not what
Charles.
I'm saying. He used a pejorative in a pejorative fashion. He didn't use a pejorative adjacent, which there are people that make the argument using the soft A instead of the ER somehow renders it not a pejorative slur. I don't want to have that debate. Let's say TJ Watt gets off and says something akin to, we got robbed, and threw the N-word out after that. And
that's a different context.
Hold on. But he said, no, I wasn't talking about black people. I was talking about criminals. I was talking about jackers or robbers, and I just meant that we got robbed, and I was referring to the refs in the context of people that rob people.
Charles, what if TJ Watt or
Of course it's a slur. Of course LaMelo used it like this. And either it's okay to use slurs,
they both are defensive linemen,
or it's not okay to use slurs.
Charles,
it's one or the other.
Charles, listen,
right?
man, we can't be so hypersensitive.
You cry about slurs all the time.
We cannot be so hypersensitive, Charles.
But you are.
Because it's the context in which it's used.
You're the most hypersensitive
You're
person.
wrong. You're wrong.
Oh, those whites. Oh, those
Charles,
Klan whites.
I am defending white people right now.
No, you're not.
Because I believe that a white person, depending on the context in which they use that word and the spelling of it, means a whole different meaning, Charles.
Why you defending LaMelo?
If TJ Watt said
LaMelo
these
looked
words,
like me, would you be defending
that Nigga can't stop me. He know who I am. I've been playing up against him. He don't mean it as a racial thing, as racial bigotry or racial offensive. What he's using is what he's commonly probably been using around his black friends all the time. Man, I have children who have white friends, and they are tight, they're close. And I heard one of them one time use the N-word, rapping with my son. And I say, son, this boy using the N-word. And my son says to me, Dad, he don't mean it like that. And the young man didn't mean it like that.
You remember the video where an artist brought a white girl up on stage and was having her sing along. And she said the word in his song, singing along with him, and she was just vilified.
And that was wrong, because she didn't mean it like
here's
that.
My question. So, with a friend that was rapping, was he freestyling or was he repeating a song? Your son's friend, when he said the word.
I think he was repeating a song.
Okay, but let's say if he just used it casually, right?
They do.
Look, I have had African American friends in the culture say stuff like, oh, angry gets a pass if angry wants to use it. I still don't, right? And in fact, I feel bad, like the term wigga, right? White guy that is trying to be. I just said it now. I don't like saying it because I think it is actually an insult to black people because you're saying, oh, this white guy has characteristics that I think are negative, that I think belong to white people.
But why is it that the N-word can be used on a basketball court during every game, and nobody's being fined $100,000? But if somebody say no homo, we got to pay for that one.
Well, so
the NBA is not using the same energy in policing the N-word as a homosexual slur.
So you're talking about black people saying the N-word, right?
They all saying it.
Okay, no, you're not hearing white people say it on the white players. Okay, so if LaMelo was gay, you think they'd fine him? Of course they would.
Hell no, they wouldn't fine him.
Okay.
Hell no.
So
but guess what?
That's the thing. Just like they're not fining black people for saying
Charles, We can't pick and
Like,
choose who we're going to find.
Yeah, here's the thing.
It
I
has to
can
be
talk about
has
fat
to be a
bald
universal
people
standard.
because I'm
has
fat
to be a
and
universal
bald.
standard, though, Charles. We can't be selective in the policing process. Has to be a universal standard. If we're going to
Why?
police it
Why?
on a standard, not based on who's saying it.
So we should start canceling black men for using the hard ER?
This is what I'm saying to
Because
you.
white men get canceled
If
all the
white
time.
men use black men use the hard ER, they should be punished because that's ignorance. That's stupidity. If you understand the true history of your people, you'd never use that damn word. But Charles, we cannot
So what do you
police.
think-
We cannot be selective
what
in our
do you
policing,
think
man.
that-
And the gay community cannot be so hypersensitive
on.
that they sanction this.
Okay, why do you think about this?
And let me ask you a question: where does the money go?
Well, I have no idea. Hopefully
Where does the $100,000
Hopefully
go?
it goes to some educational process to get people
Yeah, right.
to be less homophobic.
Some BS,
Okay, here's
some
the question.
BS program
Here's the
getting
question.
rich,
Okay.
and nobody knows where the money's going.
Okay,
Charles,
so
stop
the
it,
critical
man.
race theory thought that Black America has taken back the N-word by using it as a positive, a cultural positive
No,
amongst
we
themselves.
took lemons and made lemonade because we were forced to. But at the end of the day, those who created that word must be held accountable for its legacy and its improper use still to this day.
I don't know if you noticed, I think the people that created the word, they've been dead for a couple hundred years.
No, but people still gain power from that word, those who created it.
Okay.
Tank the season. Tank the season. So you can position yourself to have the #1 overall pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Step number 3, and this is the big one. You hire primetime Deion Sanders as your head coach. And you let him go draft his son, Shedeur Sanders, to become a Dallas Cowboy. Worry about what you're gonna do with Dak Prescott later. And his $60 million contract, $60 million a year, by the way. Worry about that later. What you do immediately is you get prime time, because you see, Jerry's gonna be Jerry. But man, Jerry loves and respects that man.
Well, Charles, that was Stephen A. Smith. We all know Brother Stephen A. Smith, ESPN commentator on First Take. And I am a religious Dallas Cowboy fan, for the sake of transparency. To listen to his suggestion, his idea, his theory of what the Dallas Cowboys should do with this remaining season that's already in the tank. He suggested that further go ahead and just tank so they could draft Shedeur Sanders and make his father the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. For personal reasons, I wouldn't want to see that, but I would love to see Shedeur Sanders go to the Dallas Cowboys. And I would love to see Dallas put Dak Prescott on the trading block. I believe trading Dak Prescott would be the Herschel Walker moment for the new coach, like the Herschel Walker was for Jimmy Johnson. The boatload of players that Jimmy Johnson got for trading Herschel Walker could be the equivalent of the new coach coming in trading Dak Prescott. Furthermore, I would also be willing to trade Micah Parsons, because his podcast is doing too much talking about the internal issues in the locker room and the team. Trade Micah Parsons, get a boatload also, and draft Travis Hunter. Then that way you got Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders now becoming Dallas Cowboys. And because you traded Dak and Micah, you get a boatload of draft options and players in return. Overnight, you become an impact player, an impact franchise again on the football field.
We saw what Deion has now done with 2 programs, right? We were in full transparency. We were in Colorado this past weekend for the Utah Colorado game.
Right.
Travis Hunter looked magical.
He
looked unbelievable. The whole team did. Watching Deion interact with his team was amazing, right? The man is a gifted coach and has every business being in the NFL. Now, in fairness, your son is committed to playing for Deion, so I could see why he would want Deion to remain. But
of course.
I don't, if I'm the NFL, right, and I have had scouts go witness the movie that is the sideline of Colorado, in the middle of nowhere. Well, you got to fly into Denver and drive an hour to get out to Boulder from the airport. You're not close to anything. It's not a big stadium.
That sideline.
Yellow Beezy.
That sideline looked like the
people
BET Music Awards.
Right, people come all over. And Deion is going to bring that energy anywhere.
He would.
He would bring that energy to the NFL. He obviously is.
He would make Dallas Cowboys America's team again.
I think he goes to the Jets. If he goes to the NFL, I think he goes for full control. That I think Jerry is too much of an insecure little weasel to give to him. And you talk about, like, I grew up in Austin, and as a kid I could follow. You could be a fan of the Oilers and the Cowboys in Austin. There wasn't this Houston versus Dallas, Dallas versus Houston nonsense. I grew up liking both teams. I followed the Oilers more.
But if there's ever a head coach that could pull Micah Parsons in and quiet down some of the rhetoric he's putting out in the public about his own team, it would be Deion Sanders.
Or have players wanting to play from now.
Exactly.
I personally think Deion would be the most successful in the NCAA. I think if he had a school that had a greater pile of cash for NIL money, that the exposure to celebrities, like if I am at USC, let's say I'm the AD at USC, I do everything to get Deion to LA, right? Because I think they all come with. And LA already has a bubble.
When you look at his achievements in a year and a half, considering where that program was winning one game before he got there.
Tiny little stadium.
And when you look at all of the haters, both public and those non-public in commentating world, who really made mockery of Deion's transition to Colorado, and even Paul Feinbaum, another one, called him irrelevant and said they was on nobody's radar.
Crying
he
like
has
a bunch
done
of little
what
babies.
nobody ever thought he would do in a year and a half. Could you imagine with the resources somewhere else? I won't say where, but could you imagine with the alumni, what they would have in getting a man like him?
Well, I mean, as an LSU guy, I don't see why LSU or some similar underperforming SEC program doesn't make a real effort.
But I would hope that the city of Boulder, but I would hope that the businessmen and women of Boulder come together with the alumni and the school and say, pay this man what he's earned.
That's what
because
they need to do.
He's the man now.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.